Welcome back, everybody. Jaysin Static with another episode of the interview series. I am Jaysin Static. You, sir, are?
Too cool, Tyler Cooley.
Too cool. I finally got you on my show, and you still haven't had me on yours. We're going to have to fix that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, Tyler Cooley, how long have you been in the wrestling industry, and what is it that you do?
I've been in the business for only a few months, not a long time. I'm a podcast host, color commentator, and ring announcer.
All right, so fairly new to the game, fairly green to the game still, but you're making your way. You're doing a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know this game. You've seen these videos. Are you ready for your first question?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Question number one.
I've been waiting for this.
Question number one. Who is your go-to wrestler in this modern era, and why? Who is Tyler Cooley's favorite wrestler to watch of this modern era? Out of all of the companies, whether it's an indie guy or one of the guys on the big shows.
Wow.
That's a lot to pick from.
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
TikTok. You're in the hot seat.
I'd say, as far as like AEW, WWE, stuff like that.
Okay.
I've always been a fan of Kenny Omega. Love Kenny Omega.
Why?
The work he's done in New Japan, his in-ring style, his work on the mic, it has to be wrestler.
Yep.
Well then, yeah, we're going with Kenny Omega.
Wrestler, color commentator, manager.
Oh crap! I mean, Kenny Omega, Samantha Irvin, as far as ring announcers, she is such an inspiration.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But what is it that we'll use those two as the play? What is it that you gravitate to as a fan of wrestling? Something that a lot of the people who watch these shows, watch these episodes, know. I come from the standpoint of being a fan of professional wrestling. I'm what you call a super fan, a mark of professional wrestling. We're all marks of professional wrestling. So what is it about Kenny Omega in particular as a wrestler that drew you in, that gravitates? What is it about him that you gravitate to him? Like when I was growing up, like my favorite wrestler of this current time period before he passed away was Bray. It was just something about him. It was an aura that I can connect to him on a personal level. Like I felt like if me and Bray would sit down, I would be able to have an actual conversation with him because he touched me on a personal level.
Absolutely.
So what is it about Kenny Omega that does it for you?
Man, these are good questions. Yeah. He shows up.
Mm-hmm.
He works. He shows out.
Uh-huh.
His moveset is not, from what I've seen, from what it's not
Right.
one particular moveset.
Right.
He picks up quite a bit, from the high flying to the, heavyweight.
Right.
And he uses it all to his ability,
So I think what you're getting at is you're essentially saying that it's the passion that he exudes, and it when you see Kenny for you in particular, when you see Kenny in the ring, you can tell that no matter what it is that he's doing, he's giving it his all.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Okay, so what is it about Samantha Irvin on the commentator? Since that's one of the things that does it for you.
When it comes to Samantha Irvin, as far as her ring announcing, it's almost the same. You can tell how passionate she is. I remember whenever I watched her announce, Cody Rhodes winning the WWE Championship, and you could hear how emotional she got just being able to do it. You know what I mean? She puts her all into it, and she's definitely setting a tone for ring announcers for sure.
It's something that I always say, and I think this is going to be one of the running themes of a lot of these videos that I do, is what we do as people who's in the professional wrestling industry. A lot of people think what we do is just moves and everything like that, but for me, it's not. For me, what we do is we're selling emotion to people.
Absolutely.
And if we can't emotionally attach to somebody, whether it be the ring announcer, the referee, the commentator, the wrestler, or whoever, what the hell are we doing in this business?
Absolutely. It's really, I mean, and that's what it's all about, the emotion and just grabbing the fans' attention, and
Exactly.
sometimes it gets to them.
Tyler, thank you for that first answer. Tyler! Second question, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. This is something that I'm interested in.
Oh.
You're new to the business, okay? We're going to start from there. You've already established that you're fairly new. How do you personally handle criticism, negative feedback from the fans, peers, and our promoters? How do you, on a personal level, handle that? Because everybody knows that in the wrestling business, it can be very hard sometimes. How have you handled that so far?
So I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people that are gonna watch this, and they're definitely that's a really good question.
Yep.
Sometimes I take things a little too
Personal?
too heavy. Sometimes I don't.
Right.
It's kind of 50-50. When it comes to promoters, I try to be as respectful as possible because I don't want to lose what I have. I don't want to lose the opportunity I have.
Be respectful.
But when it comes to other wrestlers and fans, I do tend to get a little out of hand sometimes, which I'll admit, trying to work on it, trying to fix it. So I guess it really just depends on the scenario.
Okay. How so?
I guess more so depending on how it's said.
Right.
What it is, sometimes
Right.
I take things offensively sometimes. Like you can tell me I'm a crappy ring announcer and I need to do better. And you can say to me most like offensive way or a most nice way that I might take offensive, and
Right.
it really just depends on like how it's said and what it's about,
Something that I've learned over the years is sometimes even when things are said offensively towards us, because it's one of those things in the industry, you're eventually going to come across somebody who's going to say something that's really offensive to you. There's no way around it. That's just kind of the nature of what it is that we do. But I think what we have to do as people, wrestlers, announcers in the industry is what we got to do when something like that happens to us is try to take what they say into consideration first and then be like, is this person really coming at me in a negative way because they hate me for some reason? Or are they really just trying to tell me something to make me better and they just don't know how to properly say it? Because like you said, it's really depending on the way that you say it. That's one of the reasons why, like, when I try to critique people, like I try to come at people in a way that I know it's disarming, meaning I'm not coming at you in an aggressive manner unless you really give me a reason to come at you in an aggressive manner. Like the first interaction that me and you ever had, like I wanted to tell you something that I felt that you could have done better. And I came up to you and I was like, hey, maybe try this next time, and if it works for you, if it works for you, if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think we as the older generation in wrestling, sometimes we need to learn how to speak to people sometimes in a better way. But on that flip side, I think a lot of the times the younger generation in the wrestling game also has to learn how to take and understand if somebody's shit talking you or saying something in a negative fashion towards you, if they're meaning it to be offensive to you and to hurt you, or if they're actually doing it to be like kind of like a harsh constructive criticism type thing. Because some people just don't know how to talk to people.
Absolutely.
Now, without saying anybody's names or anything like that, like what is so we can stretch this a little bit further, what is is an example of something. Maybe somebody came at you in a way that you felt might have been coming at you, but maybe later found out that it wasn't like that at all. Have you had anything like that happen yet so far?
I have. I just have a really horrible memory.
Yeah, it's okay.
Man, I mean, just so I'm not sitting here being all quiet, I
Right.
mean, I can say like a word that really gets to me.
Okay.
I don't know what your as far as language.
Yeah, say whatever the hell you want to say, as long as you don't call people out. That's not what we're doing.
A lot of people like to joke around and they like to call me a bitch.
Yeah.
And obviously, we all call people bitches.
Yeah.
We all like to call each other bitches. But sometimes I'm one of those people where I don't really like being called a bitch.
Right.
Because mama didn't raise no bitch.
Right.
So, like,
Okay.
I haven't been in the ring. I might not look tough, but mama didn't raise no bitch.
You'll come at somebody if you need to.
Yeah. So, that's one word that really.
This is one of the things that I'm like, that's one of the things. It's like, okay, you know what your word is, right? You know the one that triggers you. Everybody has a word or something that triggers them. But when somebody comes at you next time and they say that, something that I think you should probably do as somebody who's new to the game, I'm going to peep some game, is try to figure out as soon as it's said, is it somebody who's coming at you in a negative mindset, or if it's somebody who's just coming at you to bust your balls type shit. But I think that's good. I think we can leave it there. Do you have anything to promote? Upcoming shows, merchandise, websites, social medias? Do you have anything like that? Mr. Too Cool, Tyler Cooley?
Next weekend, next Saturday, I will be, Saturday.
This is
The
dropping on the 11th.
Oh, dang.
This is dropping on the 11th, man. I told you this.
Oh, well, then I don't have any events.
I'm sure you're probably going to be at IEW. You're probably going to be back here at NGW. You're probably going to be at IWA. You do a lot of stuff for a lot of people. You got your podcast.
Yep.
When's your podcast?
We do our podcast every Friday night, 7:00 p.m. Usually whenever we have a show set for that Saturday, we'll do an episode. So Tyler Cooley on Facebook. I shouldn't be hard to find.
Merchandise?
Oh, it's in-person merchandise.
Okay.
I have cups, t-shirts, hats.
Got you.
This is actually our newest button right here.
Go down. Keeping it cool with Tyler Cooley. Awesome, man.
So, yeah, I mean, just Tyler Cooley.
So, guys, if you're a fan of, if you like what Tyler Cooley has to say, go check him stuff. Go check him out at shows. Get a picture with him. Buy some of his merch. Show him some love. He's a good kid. He might be a little annoying sometimes. He might be a little arrogant. He might be a little cocky sometimes, but he's a really good kid. But you know how we do this. We're going to finish it out like we always do. Jaysin Static across all social media. Fight Club Wrestling Academy on Facebook and YouTube. And last but not least, we are 138co.com. That's where you get all the Jaysin Static merch, all the Fight Club merch, and everything else. Tyler, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you.